Is that Chris Hemsworth?
I mean, hey, if my bicep detection is right, then that's Chris Hemsworth's bicep.
There's a lot of like actors and actress shifts, right? But they're playing like the same character. Fury Road won 6 Oscars.
It's not, like I said, it's not anything that I'm like dreaming for like before watching the movie. After watching the movie, I might be like, wow, that was really well done.
Welcome to Backseat Directing,
Where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew.
and Aaron.
We put out new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And on this episode, we're reacting to the new trailer, Furiosa.
3, 2, 1,
Action. All right.
I feel like I heard it again that time. I feel like you're saying Furioso.
What is it? Not that?
Furiosa.
Furiosa. Yeah. I didn't catch that. No one told me.
It wasn't in the research. It wasn't in the notes.
Exactly. Where's our show director? Why didn't they say anything? But before we get into Furiosa,
This guy's so bad with
trailer.
names. He watched the movie like a week ago. Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, whatever. But before we get into the trailer, I want to tell the fans, hey, go check out our merch. We have t-shirts, jackets, different colors. So you can check that out by going to our YouTube page. And in the description, there's a link to our Etsy shop. And from there, you can order the merch. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the show.
Yeah, makes a big difference to us, and it costs you nothing.
Nothing.
And then you don't have to feel guilty when we ask you every time.
Exactly.
You're like, why am I not subscribed?
Yeah. All right. You ready to get into this trailer?
Yes, let's watch Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Everything seems to have such a long name nowadays.
Right?
It's like 20-letter name average. 45 years after the collapse, a young Furiosa is taken from her family. She will devote the rest of her life to finding her way home. This is her odyssey.
Odyssey.
Furiosa Odyssey would have been kind of a cool name.
What is the full name for it? It's
Furiosa Mad Max Saga.
Is that Chris Hemsworth?
I mean, hey, if my bicep detection is right, then that's Chris Hemsworth's bicep. Start your engines. This is Daytona 500. Dude, first Chris Hemsworth is in Rush, and now this.
Hemsworth. That doesn't even look like him.
Anya Taylor-Joy is really the like star. I don't know how. I'm curious how big his role is going to be, because I was just looking into it, and he's not Immortan Joe. Immortan Joe is like the villain from the last one, who I was going to assume he was, because that's the guy who like, I guess, takes Furiosa and forces her to be like a wife and child bearer.
I'm Furiosa!
The darkest of angels.
He's like a different character from the video game, who is like a rival of Immortan Joe.
The question is, do you have it in you to make it epic?
He's not the first actress.
No? I mean, honestly, I know they're doing like a prequel, but I don't have anything against it being Anya Taylor-Joy because it's a prequel, but I think it would have been really cool if they could have been Charlize Theron and like done a movie somehow related to Furiosa, because I think she does a really good job in Fury Road.
Yeah, I agree. She was one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it rides on her and Tom Hardy's back, like the movie.
I feel like the order of all these movies and like there's a lot of like actors and actress shifts, right? But they're playing like the same character. Like, who was it playing Max? Before?
Tom Hardy, but before that, Mel Gibson.
Yeah. So like they keep switching, but it's all the same story. Is it hard to follow, or is it just me?
Yeah, it's weird because when I was just looking at it on IMDb, it looks like the through line connecting all these movies is the director, which is usually like the opposite,
Not
right?
the
Like
case, yeah.
normally, like they'll keep the actors on board for like the name recognition, and then like directors will change throughout. Like, what's a good example? Like Planet of the Apes has
I
a
was
couple
just gonna
different
say that in
directors.
example, yeah.
There's like a like Harry Potter has different directors, and up until like the fifth movie, then that guy directs them the rest of the way through. But this movie is the opposite. It's like I think his name's George Miller. I was just looking at it. He's directed like every single one of these movies. Let me just confirm that he's the director before I make a fool of myself. Yeah, George Miller. He directed like back in like who knows like not. You can't even find history this far back. But like in the 70s, he directed the first one with Mel Gibson, and then he directed the 2 and 3 with Mel Gibson, and he directed Fury Road that just came out like not too long ago,
2015, I believe.
something like that.
Yeah. Did you like Fury Road? Because that's the only one you've seen, right?
That is literally the only one I've seen. I've seen
Yeah.
the DVD cover to the other ones a bunch of times because my grandfather had them, but I've never had too much interest in watching them. I've heard they're not great, the original ones, but Fury Road I thought was amazing. I really enjoyed watching it.
I just watched it, as you pointed out in the beginning of this episode. I watched it like a week ago or two, and I thought it was like a remake. I didn't realize that it was a continuation in a series, and they didn't really like explain like what those flashbacks were and stuff. And I thought like at the end they would explain what was going on, but they never did. And then I realized, oh, like this isn't a remake. This is a continuation. And now we're going back in time. I thought this was a spinoff, but it's not. It's just we're just jumping all over the place.
Yeah, it's like they made what 4 movies about Max, with 3 of them with Mel Gibson and then 1 with Tom Hardy.
They made 3?
Yeah, because there's Mad Max, and then there's The Road Warrior, and then there's Mad Max Welcome to the Thunderdome or something like Beyond Thunderdome. And then now they're after that going back and doing a prequel, which I mean, it's quite a bit, the character's quite a bit younger, so it might predate, I don't know where this falls in the timeline. It might predate the first Mad Max for all I know. I don't know that much about this franchise, but like, it just seems like an interesting choice. It seems like studios are willing to go so far nowadays just to keep like that brand name recognition. Like to have Mad Max in the title, they would almost like rather make that movie than like anything else. Like,
I mean, the Fury Road won 6 Oscars.
yeah,
So like, of course, they want to try to keep this alive.
And there's another Mad Max movie that apparently is in the works too. Because if you look at the director George Miller's upcoming credits, it says Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga of 2024 is now in post production, and then in production is Mad Max: The Wasteland. So like The Wasteland is, if you watch the trailer, The Wasteland's what this like world is now called. Whatever post apocalyptic event set this up. But like they're obviously with the success of Fury Road financially and critically, they're going to go on to make all these offshoots like they're doing. But
yeah, it won Best Picture, Directing, Cinematography, Film Editing, and Costume Design. And
you didn't like it that much?
And Hair and Makeup was the next one.
No, sounds like you're in the minority if you don't like it that much.
Yeah, I guess so. I thought it was good. It just wasn't I didn't like some of the editing and camera work style that they did.
Dude, George Miller directed Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2. Who are you to question?
I know. But I do think his wife was the editor.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, good on them. I have to rewatch Fury Road. It's been a little while. I know I liked it.
It has a cool look. The acting was good. The story was pretty decent.
Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah. I just didn't like some of their style choices of how they presented the action.
I think the hard thing for me to swallow maybe viewing it was like some of the lack of dialogue, but I don't think that's like an inherent gripe. I think I just like dialogue personally.
I think I might have liked it more too, knowing that it was like the 4th movie in a series rather than it
jumping
being its
into
own
it,
thing. Yeah.
I feel like it stands pretty well on its own and like has a lot for you to take from it without watching the previous movies. Cause I wasn't like, there's stuff that you would get more out of, I think, watching it, but it's not like
I have questions about
lost.
the world, I have questions about like what happened to Max with the flashbacks and stuff. But like, did you like Fury Road enough to really be invested in this franchise? Like, how excited are you for this movie coming out?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm super invested in this movie based off like needing a sequel from watching Fury Road. I would say the movie looks cool because it has a really good cast, and I know the director obviously did a good job with Fury Road, and I already like that movie. So I'm excited about the cast and crew. But I'm not like, I need to see the follow-ups to Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, I feel like I
It's not even a
enjoyed it for what it
follow-up,
was.
it's like a
Prequel.
yeah.
So that makes it even weirder. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool concept. I'm excited for the actors. Chris Hemsworth get to kind of do something different than a lot of what we've seen him do. Like get to see him just like real dirty and muddy.
It kind of seemed like he was being Thor though.
Yeah,
Love and Thunder Thor, a little funny, like, that kind of seemed like his character in this, didn't it?
I don't know. I think he'll be quite different. I mean, this world calls for somebody like a lot more brutal.
It's an official trailer, number one, but it felt more of like a teaser trailer.
Yeah, it's got the length of an official trailer, but it's kind of cut like a teaser trailer, which is nice. Like The Killer, it doesn't give a lot away. I don't really know what's. I know that it says it's her Odyssey. It's the text crawl gives us more information really to me than anything. But I imagine what we're gonna see is like the quote unquote birth of Furiosa. You know, like her rising like a phoenix to become like this powerful heroine. You know, which it'll be interesting to see the character development, but it's not, like I said, it's not anything that I'm like dreaming for like before watching the movie. After watching the movie, I might be like, wow, that was really well done. Anya Taylor-Joy is a fantastic actress. We both really liked her in The Queen's Gambit. Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic show.
Yeah. And I think she's good in New Mutants, but you know, everyone can talk shit about that movie all they want, but I think it's a fun movie.
Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts for Furiosa?
No, but before we close out, like what are you thinking? Having not even a movie, when it comes to Fury Road, everyone loved it. Having not like loved it yourself, how do you feel after watching this trailer?
Well, I didn't hate it. It was a fun movie. I
just not.
Like,
I feel like it's good to say that because me saying not loved could probably get confused with saying
like, oh, like you don't like the movie, you know? It's like no, like I had fun watching it. It was entertaining. I was entertained. Like it did its job as a movie, you know? Like it provided entertainment for me. The story was fun, you know, but it's not like my favorite movie ever, you know? And I didn't feel like this big connection to the characters to where I'm like, oh, like I need to know what happened to her before and after this movie, you know? And I didn't even know this movie was getting made until this trailer dropped this week, you know? So I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like, I'm not super excited for the Mad Max franchise, but maybe I'll watch this and be like, oh, yeah, no, it's a good movie. You know, I'm glad I saw it. Or maybe I'll watch it and be like, okay, I'm done with this franchise. You know, like, it could kind of go either way for me. You know, this movie will kind of make or break it, I guess, you know?
Yeah, it's coming out next year, so I'm sure we'll see it.
Yeah. Do you think this movie will make it on our 2024 box office draft?
That totally depends on if you want to draft it.
You're not going to draft it?
No,
Getting
probably
insights
not.
here.
Probably not.
We need to do a draft update, by the way. Right now, Andrew's blowing me out of the water.
I'm not sure I want to do that to you.
Yeah, I don't want to do it either. The beginning of the year, middle of the year, like I was looking good, and then these last two movies,
Dude, this guy was
done me dirty, bro.
Gloating when Mario was in its prime.
Yeah,
this guy was on cloud 9.
Yeah, I was pretty happy, man. And I had a chance, right? It's just my last two movies being the Marvels and Aquaman. Just the temperature of those movies from when we did the draft to now, like almost a 180, you know? Like,
yeah, I drafted Ant-Man. Ant-Man right away killed. Turned it so cold for the rest of the year.
Yeah. All right. I think we should wrap up this episode. Keep it a little bit shorter for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of this trailer and what you think of the Mad Max franchise in general. Are we missing out? Are we not in love with it as much as we should be?
Should we go back and watch the Mel Gibson ones and come back and cover it on an episode?
Yeah, is it worth it to watch those 3 movies to get the full context of this franchise? Let us know. All right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Oh, I was hoping that you'd pick up with the like, subscribe, we're on this and that.
Well, if you guys,
hoping that you would like back me up here as the
so
co-host.
If you guys are watching, especially this far to the end of the video, please like, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Share with friends and family because it makes a huge difference to us. And thank you so much for watching with us.
Boom. And
that's a wrap.